Dr. Purnima Devi Burman's name included in the Times magazine's list has created the Hargila Army for the conservation of the Hargila bird in Assam. Dr. Burman is the only Indian woman to be included in this list. The 16th Conference on Biological Diversity resumes. Kelly Fund launched at the conference. The goal will be the first fair distribution of financial benefits. A big gift for farmers. The Prime Minister released the 19th installment of the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi, rupees 22,000 crore transferred to farmers' bank accounts via direct bank transfer. The Prime Minister participated in the Jhumur Binandini program. The event became a symbol of 200 years of the tea industry and industrialization in Assam. This mega event was held in Guwahati. Saudi Arabia takes a big step, will assist WHO in polio eradication, commits to contributing $500 million. Recently, Dr. Purnima Devi Burman was included in the Time magazine Woman of the Year 2025 list. A renowned biologist and wildlife conservationist from Assam, Dr. Burman is the only Indian woman to make it to the list. It is noteworthy that to be included in this list, a woman must have done exceptional work. Dr. Purnima Devi Burman has created a Hargila army in Assam, which consists of a group of around 10,000 women. This group works to protect the greater adjutant stork, a bird native to the region. The greater adjutant stork, known locally as the Hargila in Assam, is a large bird with a height ranging from 125 to 150 centimeters. Its IUCN status is near threatened. This bird is typically classified as a scavenger, often found near garbage dumps, which results in a negative attitude towards it from people. The Hargila army works to change people's attitude towards these birds and also focuses on wetland conservation to preserve the nesting sites of these birds. For your information, Dr. Burman has received several awards for her work. In 2017, she was honored with the Nari Shakti Puraskar by the Government of India, and in 2022, she was awarded the Champions of the Earth Award. This award is the highest environmental honor given by UNEP, the United Nations Environment Programme, and was established in 2005. Recently, the 16th Conference on Biological Diversity resumed in Rome, Italy. This event was held at the headquarters of the Food and Agriculture Organization. It is noteworthy that this meeting was originally held in October 2024 in Cali, Colombia. However, it was interrupted and concluded due to a lack of quorum. The recent meeting is related to this, which was held in Rome. On the second day of this meeting, the Kelly Fund was launched. The objective of this fund is to ensure the proper distribution of the financial benefits derived from its use. It is worth mentioning that the Kelly Fund will receive contributions from private sector entities that benefit from digital sequence information on genetic resources. This includes companies that invest capital in creating products through the use of genetic data and digital sequence information. This includes companies related to the pharmaceutical and agriculture sectors. For information, the first global agreement on biodiversity was made under the name CBD, that is the Convention on Biological Diversity. This agreement was signed at the United Nations Conference on Environment and Development held in Rio de Janeiro in 1992. It works with three main objectives. These are the conservation of biodiversity, the sustainable use of biodiversity elements, and the fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from biodiversity. Recently, the Prime Minister inaugurated the Global Investor Summit 2025 in Bhopal. On this occasion, he discussed in detail the state's economic progress, investment possibilities, infrastructure, green energy, and the electric vehicle revolution. He emphasized the important role of Madhya Pradesh in shaping India's economic future. He also mentioned that the state is advancing rapidly in the field of green energy. It is noteworthy that India has so far invested $70 billion in renewable energy. Speaking of Madhya Pradesh, it is the fifth largest state in India in terms of population. It is one of the top 5 states in terms of mineral resources and a leading state in agriculture. Prime Minister Modi also highlighted the state's growing prominence in India's electric vehicle revolution. Over 2 lakh electric vehicles have been registered in Madhya Pradesh by 2025. The Prime Minister also praised the development of the state's infrastructure, connectivity and access. He also mentioned the upgrade of 80 railway stations in Madhya Pradesh under the Amrit Bharat Station scheme. For your information, the Global Investors Summit 2025 was organized until 25th February. Entrepreneurs from 60 countries were invited to promote investment in the state. 30 ambassadors, 6 high commissioners and several consuls general from key strategic countries also participated in this summit. Recently, the Ministry of Mines has transferred 4 minerals, berites, feldspar, mica and quartz from the list of minor minerals to the category of major minerals. It is worth mentioning that this decision has been made under the National Critical Minerals Mission. It is notable that the aim of the National Critical Minerals Mission is to reduce India's dependency on the import of critical minerals and ensure self-reliance for high-tech industries, clean energy and national defense. It is worth mentioning that berites included in the major minerals category is primarily a mineral of barium sulfate. It is used to increase the weight of drilling fluids. Additionally, it is also used in the production of other chemical products related to barium. As for feldspar, it is one of the most common mineral groups found in the Earth's crust. It is widely used in ceramics, glass and other industrial processes. Furthermore, mica is a type of chalcedony which falls under the category of microcrystalline quartz. Due to its beautiful colorful layers, it is used in jewelry, decorative stones and artistic items. While quartz is a hard crystalline mineral made of silica, it is used in electronic devices such as clocks, computers, glass manufacturing and decorative items. Recently, a team from IIT Madras has developed a technique for making concrete without water. This technology is a significant achievement for construction on Mars. Due to the extreme scarcity of water on Mars, the development of this technology will make construction work easier. It is worth mentioning that this technology has been developed by IIT Madras's extraterrestrial manufacturing team. It is notable that the expert team developed water-free concrete using alternative chemical binders and materials. In this research, the technology was tested by simulating the conditions of Mars' surface on Earth. Due to the lack of water, water-free concrete will be an ideal solution for building permanent structures on Mars' harsh surface. Traditional concrete requires water for hydration. Through the new technology, concrete can be set without water by using alternative chemical reactions. This technology could reduce the weight of construction materials and save costs. As for Mars, it is the 4th planet in the solar system. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. Due to the presence of ferric oxide, Mars is also called the red planet. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the 19th installment of the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme in Bhagalpur, Bihar. In this installment, approximately Rs 22,000 crores were transferred to the bank accounts of 9.8 crore farmers. It is worth mentioning that the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme is a centrally sponsored scheme. It was launched by the Prime Minister on 24th February 2019. The scheme provides financial assistance to farming families. Under this scheme, Rs 6,000 is provided annually to farming families. The scheme is implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. Every 4 months, Rs 2,000 is transferred as an installment. The definition of a family includes the husband, wife, and minor children. Ownership of land is the only criteria to avail the benefits of this scheme. Initially, it was limited to farmers with landholdings of up to 2 hectares. However, later it was expanded to include all farming families. Some specific categories of farming families are not eligible for this benefit. For your information, the central government launched the PM Kisan mobile app to make this scheme more transparent. It was launched on 24th February 2020. The app is a simple and efficient extension of the PM Kisan web portal. which focuses on reaching more farmers. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the mega Jhumur program, Jhumur Binandani 2025, held in Guwahati, Assam. It is worth mentioning that the Jhumur Binandani program 2025 is a cultural festival. In this program, 8,000 artists participated in the Jhumur dance. Notably, this program is a symbol of 200 years of the tea industry and 200 years of industrialization in Assam. During this event, Prime Minister Modi played the traditional Dhamsa drum, which is an important part of the tea garden community's culture. It is noteworthy that the Jhumur dance is a traditional folk dance style of Assam, which is particularly associated with Assam's tea garden community. It is commonly known as the Jhumur dance. This dance is performed by women, in which they dance to rhythm and music. It mainly symbolizes the culture, tradition, and lifestyle of tea garden workers. This dance is ritualistic and is performed during social celebrations or on special occasions. Traditional musical instruments such as drums, bin, etc. are used in this dance. It is worth noting that this dance is also performed in states like Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, and West Bengal. Recently, Saudi Arabia confirmed its commitment to contribute $500 million towards polio eradication efforts. This amount will be given to the World Health Organization's Global Polio Eradication Initiative. It is noteworthy that the wild variant of polio still exists in Pakistan and Afghanistan. In these countries, 99 cases were reported in 2024. Wild polio is a severe infectious disease caused by a virus. Its infection primarily leads to paralysis or polio in children. This virus mainly spreads through contaminated drinking water or food. Notably, most cases of wild polio are found in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. The disease has not been fully eradicated in these countries. It is important to note that there is no cure for polio, but it can be completely prevented through vaccination. The World Health Organization's goal is to completely eradicate the wild polio virus by 2027. To achieve this, WHO has conducted vaccination campaigns against polio in several countries under the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. WHO is a specialized agency of the United Nations working on health-related matters worldwide. It was established on 7th April 1948. Its headquarters is located in Geneva, Switzerland. That's all for now in this bulletin. After the news, let's take a quick look at 5 questions related to the bulletin. Consider the following statements regarding the greater adjutant stork. It is called Hargila in the local language of Assam. Its IUCN status is near threatened. It is a small bird and falls under the scavenger category. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. Next, consider the following statements regarding the Kali Fund. It was launched at the 16th CBD conference in 2024. Public sector institutions will contribute to it. It includes companies related to pharma and agriculture. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. Next, consider the following statements regarding the PM Kisan scheme. It is a central sector scheme. It was launched by the Prime Minister on 24th February 2019. Under this scheme, farmers receive an installment of Rs 6,000 every 4 months. How many of the above statements are incorrect? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. Next, consider the following statements regarding Jhumur dance. It is a traditional folk dance form of Assam. Men play the primary role in this dance. It symbolizes the culture and lifestyle of tea plantation workers. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. Next, consider the following statements regarding wild polio. It is a serious infectious disease caused by a virus. Its infection leads to paralysis in children. WHO aims to completely eradicate it by 2027. How many of the above statements are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, none. Recently, China's ambassador to India mentioned the historic Tea Horse Road on the social media platform X. This route was more than 2000 km long and connected China to India through Tibet. Although this route was not as famous as the Silk Road, it remained an important trade route for centuries. It is believed to have originated during China's Tang dynasty. The demand for tea in Tibet and the shortage of horses in China made this route significant, and it became a major center for tea and horse trade until the Song dynasty. Recently, Axis Now released the Internet Shutdown Report 2024. According to this report, India experienced 84 internet shutdowns in 2024, making it the second highest country in shutdowns after Myanmar. In India, the internet was shut down 41 times to prevent protests, 23 times to curb communal violence, and 5 times to prevent cheating in exams. Globally, the internet was shut down 296 times across 54 countries, with 64% of these cases occurring in Myanmar, India, and Pakistan. Recently, a study found the presence of a chemical called D-carbamidophenyl ether in black plastic products. It is a flame retardant chemical that can pose a threat to human health. Black plastic is often made from recycled electronic waste such as computers, televisions, and other devices. These electronics typically contain flame retardants like bromine, antimony, and heavy metals. If present in excessive amounts, these substances and heavy metals can be toxic to the human body. However, many countries have now banned them. Recently, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency organized the first International Conference on Carbon Markets, Prakriti 2025. Here, Prakriti stands for Promoting Resilient Awareness, Knowledge and Resources for Integrating Transformational Initiatives. The purpose of this conference was to enhance understanding of the Indian carbon market and provide insights into global carbon market dynamics. It is worth mentioning that the Bureau of Energy Efficiency was established under the Energy Conservation Act 2001. Its objective is to reduce the energy intensity of the Indian economy and improve energy efficiency, thereby promoting sustainable development in the country. Recently, 17-year-old Russian tennis player Mara Andreeva won her biggest career title by defeating Denmark's Clara Tauson at the Dubai Open Tennis Tournament. With this victory, Andreeva became the youngest player to win a WTA 1000 title. During this tournament, she defeated top players such as Iga Swiatek. Notably, Andreeva is the first 17-year-old player since 2007 to break into the top 10 of the world rankings. In his recent monthly radio program Man Ki Baat, 119th episode, Prime Minister Narendra Modi highlighted India's rich biodiversity and the role of local communities in wildlife conservation. In this program, he praised the Soliga tribe of Karnataka. This tribe has played a crucial role in increasing the number of tigers in the Biligiri-Rangan Hills Tiger Reserve. It is worth noting that the Soliga tribe is a group of forest-dwelling people mainly found in Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The word Soliga literally means children of bamboo, reflecting their deep connection with nature and the belief that they originate from it. Recently, India's first Hyperloop test track was developed at IIT Madras, marking the first such initiative in the country. This project has been developed in collaboration with the Ministry of Railways. Its objective is to develop a high-speed transportation system. It is worth mentioning that trains using Hyperloop technology can achieve speeds of over 1000 km per hour, which is equal to or even greater than the speed of an aeroplane. This system utilizes vacuum tubes, eliminating friction and air resistance, allowing the trains to achieve higher speeds. Recently, Finance Secretary Tuhin Kanta Pandey was appointed as the new chairman of the Securities and Exchange Board of India. He will replace Madhavi Puri Buch, whose term ends on 1st March. Tuhin Pandey's tenure will be for 3 years. Previously, he served as the Secretary of the Department of Investment and Public Asset Management. It is worth noting that SEBI is the regulatory body for securities and commodity markets in India, operating under the administrative jurisdiction of the Ministry of Finance. It was established on 12th April 1988 as an executive body.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.